By the powers vested in me as Vice-Chancellor and Principal, I hereby constitute this assembly as a legal congregation of the University of Pretoria. During this assembly, degrees and diplomas with all the associated rights and privileges will be conferred and awarded to the candidates whose names appear in the program. We request all of you to join us in silent prayer or meditation to give thanks for the achievements of our students. As Vice-Chancellor and Principal of the University of Pretoria, I extend a hearty word of welcome to you at this virtual graduation ceremony. I would like to welcome our Honorary Doctorate, Professor Moja, the Dean and the Deputy Dean of the Faculty, along with all persons to whom degrees, diplomas, and certificates will be conferred and awarded to. We also welcome families, friends, and spouses to this virtual graduation ceremony. This is the third virtual graduation ceremony the university has held in the past year, after we were obliged to depart from the traditional graduation format as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, which, as you know, has made large physical gatherings impossible for the time being. Our first virtual graduation season commenced just 10 days after the declaration of the national state of disaster towards the end of March 2020. It was memorable not only for that sobering reason, but also for a more agreeable one. During those first virtual ceremonies, the University of Pretoria conferred 11,001 qualifications on graduates in absentia. This was a record number for the university and one of the largest graduating cohorts, if not the largest, in South Africa at the time. I'm delighted to share with you that the autumn 2021 graduation season is now breaking that record. In this graduation season, we'll be conferring a total of 11,424 qualifications, including 198 doctorates and 1,289 master's degrees. This is a great achievement, especially in these uncertain and unpredictable times. Such an achievement is simply magnificent. I mean this on two levels. One is the outstanding personal effort you put into persevering with your studies when normal study routines and methodologies had suddenly been upended, and I'll say more about this later. The other level concerns the collective contribution of this graduating cohort to the skills of our country and more broadly our continent. Compared to the rest of the world, South Africa and Africa as a whole have very low graduation rates per capita, a state of affairs that perpetually widens the skills gap. The fact that we at the University of Pretoria are now graduating such a large number of cohort of graduates is good news indeed for the development of our country and the continent. But this welcome injection of skills is not only about numbers. Just as important are the kinds of skills and the quality of skills that you, our graduates, will be bringing with you into whatever career or study pathway you choose to pursue from this point. For instance, the University of Pretoria students once again excelled in the ITC, the Initial Test of Competence, which is the first professional exam for prospective chartered accountants. In November 2020, students from our Faculty of Economic and Management Sciences again achieved first position in South Africa. This feat followed on the first place we achieved in the January 2020 ITC, when an unprecedented 7 out of the top 10 students in the country were from this university. In addition, UP won the 2020 Chartered Institute of Management Accountants CIMA Prize Winner Excellence Award, as well as the Institute's Global Excellence Award at its first ever virtual award ceremony. These awards recognize university partners with top performing CIMA students in case study exams, as well as university partners that have achieved the highest pass rates for CIMA exams. What makes these accomplishments even more special is that our students excelled despite the disruption of having their ITC exam deferred from June 2020 to November 2020 owing to lockdown regulations. Well done to every one of you who was part of this incredible effort. Not content with notching up all the accomplishments I've just listed, we are also making history. One of our PhD graduates, Dr. Tumeka Mashova Raimudzisi, is the first Black female chartered accountant to receive a PhD in leadership. This is a noteworthy achievement, testament to your commitment and dedication. Congratulations. If time permitted, which it unfortunately does not, there will be many other examples of achievement under pressure that I could share with you as testimony to the resilience and endurance of the human spirit. In my book, every one of you has shown resilience and endurance during unprecedented turbulence and upheaval. The university is proud of you all. All your hard work, tenacity, and resilience has helped to get you to this point. Yes, the Institute certainly played its part. As the Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of Pretoria, I know what efforts and energies were invested in keeping the academic program going and enabling our students to succeed during the most protracted campus closures in our history. But what stands out for me is not the effort UP made in rolling out laptops and remote learning technologies, so much as the skills you, our graduates, gained from the experience. For our graduates to make a difference in society, they need to be creative, flexible, resilient, entrepreneurial, and collaborative. I can state with confidence that this graduating cohort has these qualities in abundance. They will serve you and our country well. University too has learned a lot from this pandemic. As you know, our preferred mode of teaching and learning before this health crisis has been the hybrid approach, a delivery model that makes use of traditional classroom-based learning tools supplemented by online and technology-supported activities. On the strength of our experiences online during this pandemic, we are reimagining the modes of teaching and learning that we are adopting for the future. Teaching and learning are going to be interesting spaces for innovation, creativity, and experimentation. Above all, we aim to provide a rich interactive experience that is educative and not just instructional, and which results in well-educated, skilled, socially engaged, and sensitive graduates, eager to transform our society, our continent, and the world. We also aim to enable students to become graduates who can engage in lifelong learning, where they unlearn and relearn. In this way, they can navigate the emerging world of work that is an outcome of multiple disruptions of the life and the world as we know it, including the disruptions caused by rapid technological change. In the near future, we'll be launching a Center for the Study of the Future of Work. Allow me to touch briefly on the disruptions you, our graduates, experienced during your studies in 2020. I know that all of you were affected by the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic while you were studying. However, what I and my colleagues at the university do not necessarily know is what trials and tribulations you, individually and personally, experienced while completing your qualification. We do not know what difficulties and distractions were going on around you while you were studying for that crucial test or writing or revising the next chapter of your thesis or dissertation, or what additional responsibilities you took on in your living space and with regard to your loved ones while soldiering through your year of completion. Were you perhaps one of the many South Africans separated from loved ones as a result of traveling restrictions and border closures? What personal sadnesses and sufferings and hardships did you endure as a result of COVID or otherwise in that most crucial time of your studies? Did you suffer loss of family and close ones, friends, fellow students, or colleagues? My colleagues and I cannot know what your lived experience was as you toiled to complete your degree, diploma, or certificate. What we do know without a shadow of doubt is that your success is hard-won and deeply deserved. Earning a qualification from the University of Pretoria is an achievement to cherish. Earning qualifications in the time of COVID-19 is in a class of its own. You, together with the 11,001 graduates of autumn 2020 and the 1,380 graduates of summer 2020 are unique. You have succeeded, and we celebrate your achievement today. On behalf of the broader community of the University of Pretoria, please accept my heartfelt congratulations. Your graduation ceremony is your moment of triumph to savor, celebrate, share with family and friends, and remember for the rest of your life. We hope to one day return to physical graduation ceremonies where graduates can walk across the stage in the presence of family and friends and take photographs. For now, virtual graduation ceremonies such as these play an indispensable role in your journey with the university. This is because a virtual graduation is a legally constituted assembly that enables you to formally graduate so that you can receive your certificate and use it to open whatever doors you have intended to unlock, whether in the form of further studies, of course at the University of Pretoria, or in your career or profession. May it lead you to more opportunities and serve you well. Turning now to the future. In the same way that you and your fellow graduates are on the verge of the next stage of fulfilling your dreams for your life, so is the University of Pretoria. As I briefly mentioned earlier, we've been using the challenges presented by the global health pandemic to begin rethinking, reimagining, and repositioning the university itself. The university can play an essential role in co-creating the country and continent we want post-COVID-19. Here at the University of Pretoria, we see an opportunity to be one of the agents and drivers of change in Africa and globally, finding and deploying innovative ways to address poverty, unemployment, inequality, and social injustice. UP, as you know, is a hub for new ideas. When it comes to COVID-19 research, we are involved at multiple levels. We are researching genome profiles to be able to identify who in the population is at higher risk of contracting fatal viruses and other diseases. We are also researching how people in society behave during a pandemic. Because if we don't understand this, we cannot manage the spread optimally. We have participated in international COVID-19 clinical trials and produced sanitizers, face masks, and face shields. Our Faculty of Health Sciences quickly incorporated COVID-19 into the primary healthcare curriculum. This is how we will need to respond to pandemics in the future, with rapid responses focused on multi-sectoral interventions. For example, our university is the only representative from Africa in the new University Social Responsibility Network, an international group of 16 top universities. And last year, the Times Higher Education's Impact Rankings rated UP among the top 100 universities in the world for its social and economic impact in 3 categories based on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, otherwise known as the SDGs. These are quality education, industry, innovation and infrastructure, and peace, justice, and strong institutions. We envisage a better, more sustainable world characterized by prosperity, genuine democracy, peace, equity and equality, social justice, and ethical use of all resources. And we are convinced we can co-create this just new world through high-quality hybrid teaching, together with transdisciplinary research and social engagement that is impactful. And of course, this co-creation must harness the collective expertise, energies, and goodwill of our family of alumni, among whom you, the seasoned graduates, can now be counted. As the new alumni of the University of Pretoria, remember the values from UP to always strive for excellence, persevere, respect everyone, be creative, innovate, embrace diversity, grow, be a lifelong learner, be kind, and make a difference every day. This is what makes the UP way of life. I appeal to you to be part of our quest to rethink, reimagine, and reposition the University of Pretoria, and in so doing, contribute to the co-creation of the Africa we want. Please take the next step by downloading the UP Connect Graduate app. keeping you connected to your alma mater, and offering access to the many opportunities available to our alumni wherever in the world you are. Remember to always keep in contact with the alumni office at UP and let us know when your contact details change. No matter where you end up in the world, remember that you are part of the UP family, whose overarching strength is its diversity in terms of staff, students, the programs offered, and areas of research that define its excellence. We're an institution on its way to becoming a beacon for demographic diversity and inclusivity, a future-oriented and focused university that is a driver of social change. Congratulations on your graduation and enjoy the celebrations with your loved ones. Take pride in the sense of achievement that comes with knowing that you have excelled against all odds. I now request the Dean to introduce to me the candidate for the Honorary Doctorate.
Mr. Vice Chancellor and Principal, I have the honor to introduce to you Professor Moja for the conferment of the degree Doctor of Education honoris causa. Professor Moja's contributions to the South African society are embodied in her work that interweaves policy, politics, and activism in her academic profession to benefit the broader society. These contributions date back to the mid-1980s. As a higher education activist, she was involved in initiatives such as the National Education Policy Investigation, NEPI, that challenged apartheid policies and made meaningful intellectual contributions in raising social justice issues which informed post-apartheid higher education policy. Her work has expanded beyond South Africa to include the broader African continent, where she has been engaged in advocating for and contributing intellectually to advances in the transformation of African higher education. She has worked tirelessly to forge collaborative relationships across geographic boundaries to promote the development of higher education in South Africa and on the continent. She is still actively involved in leveraging the African diaspora to strengthen African higher education through her service on the Carnegie African Diaspora Fellowship Program, an initiative that aims to bring African diaspora to African universities to participate in collaborative research, curriculum development, and postgraduate student mentorship. She is the founder and editor-in-chief of the Journal of Student Affairs in Africa, which was launched in 2013 and has received accreditation from the Department of Higher Education, Science and Technology. Professor Moja is a sought-after conference speaker and as keynote speaker has addressed over 18 international conferences and events in diverse geographic locations across the US, Europe, and Africa. She is a recipient of numerous awards which include the MLK Award in 2019 at New York University, the prestigious NRF Lifetime Achievement Award in 2019, which is conferred to individuals who have made an extraordinary contribution of international standard and impact to the development of science in and for South Africa over an extended period. She has further received the Women in International Education Award in 2019, conferred by the Global Leadership League in Berlin. Her intellectual and public contributions embody the UP vision for knowledge that makes a difference to the development of South Africa, Africa, and the Global South. Mr. Vice Chancellor and Principal, I request you to confer the Honorary Doctorate on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree of Doctor of Education honoris causa with all the rights and privileges on Professor Moja. I have the honor of requesting our Honorary Doctorate to deliver their address.
The Chancellor, Professor Wiseman Kutlu, the Chair of Council, Ms. Futi Mtoba, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Tawana Kupe, the Dean of the Faculty of Education, Professor Chika Sohole, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Dumelang, greetings to all who are far and near. Ke a leboga. Thank you for all the arrangements made to make this possible. In particular, thank you to those who found me worthy of this honor. I am delighted to be here today, and if I was a singer, I would burst out in a song. But for now, I'll save you that torture. I still feel sorry for my kids who had to listen to me singing lullabies for them or singing in the shower, and I thought I was great. I once auditioned for a choir at primary school, and during the audition, I got ready, got on stage, and started singing and burst out in a song and thought that was great, but my teacher thought I was crying. My being here today is testimony of the change our country has gone through. The University of Pretoria is a university I was never meant to set foot on as a black student. And this was spelled out in the extension of University Act of 1959. However, as a native Praetorian and a scholar of higher education, I've watched with interest the evolution of this university, and I'm proud to be associated with it. The university changed and adapted as was necessary from being a white-only Afrikaans medium university to an inclusive English medium university with a large number of black students. Today, the University of Pretoria is one of our greatest research universities in the country, with lots of accolades in research, in teaching, and in community engagement. This is a university whose leadership has a vision for Africa's development and found it necessary to establish the one and only center referred to as Future Africa. Future Africa sends out a powerful message that there is a future in Africa, a message that Africa is our collective responsibility. Fellow graduates, I want you to think seriously about the role you will be playing personally in South Africa and beyond to develop not only our country, but the African continent as a whole. Please make that your goal. I get frustrated whenever I hear our region or other regions similar to ours being referred to as developing. Honestly, I struggle to find one country that is not developing. I would argue that we are all in various stages of development and urge you to be part of that development. Please familiarize yourself with the Sustainable Development Goals and Africa's Development Agenda 2063 in order to find your place in becoming part of the change Africa expects. The 2020 pandemic has been the disruptor of many activities in our lives, including how we participated in knowledge creation, dissemination, acquisition, and its use. Despite that disruption, an opportunity has been created for us to reimagine education and in general, how we're going to use our education to rebuild what we lost. You have been part of this history. You experienced the world as it was and still is ravaged by the coronavirus. With the invention of the vaccine, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but we're still in the tunnel for now. It is going to take a long time for the world to be back on track. There is a role for everyone to help put our society back on track and make a difference to the lives of many in our society. I am reminded of a quote by Martin Luther King Jr. when he said, "Everybody can be great because everybody can serve." We need to serve and change the world through our imagination, creativity, and the knowledge gained through our studies. I urge you to follow on the footsteps of those who went before you and are making great contributions to the country. The continent and the world expects you to make a contribution. Join the Alumni Association and give back to the institutions in service and or financially where possible, so that institutions can thrive and be able to educate more people and embark on life-changing research. I'm humbled today to be awarded a doctoral degree in education from such an outstanding university. I would like to accept the honor on behalf of many South Africans who never got the opportunity to get higher education qualifications, and many others in the process of acquiring their degrees. A higher education qualification is an absolute necessity for prosperity and development for every nation. Congratulations to all of you receiving your degrees today, and please celebrate your achievements in a responsible manner. Thank you. Ke a leboga. Baie dankie.
Thank you, Professor Teboho Moja, for your address. I hereby confer and award all degrees and diplomas in absentia with the associated rights and privileges to all candidates whose names appear in the graduation program.
Doctor of Philosophy Adebunmi Aina. Thesis: Promoting quality early childhood care and education through resources in registered early childhood development centers. Supervisor: Professor K. BEdHons. Catherine Chamber. Thesis: Experiences of young orphans who transition into extended families in Zimbabwe. Supervisor: Dr. M.C. Moen. Philia Cockrell. Thesis: Die verband tussen ouerskappraktyk en die aggressiewe gedrag van leerlinge in spesiale skole. Supervisor: Dr. M.C. Moen. Martin Eke. Thesis: Strengthening group workplay-based pedagogy to enhance core skills in young learners. Supervisor: Dr. T. Venkatesamy. Co-supervisor: Professor J.C. Joubert. Co-supervisor: Dr. N.S. Tuketana. Christian Jacobs. Thesis: Deep learning during the South African National Defence Forces Joint Senior Command and Staff Program. Supervisor: Professor J.M. Wasserman. Charlotte Lewington. Thesis: Conceptualizing the influence of sensopathic focus play pedagogy on the young learner. Supervisor: Dr. J.C. van Heerden. Co-supervisor: Dr. H. Duprier. Petronella Matsimana. Curriculum and Instructional Design and Development. Thesis: Language learning strategies of English second language learners participating in peer tutoring. Supervisor: Dr. G. Jennis. Uriyeridze Masuelele in Curriculum and Instructional Design and Development. Thesis: Social cohesion in school choir competitions. The experiences of conductors and adjudicators. Supervisor: Dr. H.J. van Aswegen. Ernest Mazibe. Thesis: The relationship between teachers' pedagogical content knowledge about electrostatics and learners' performance. Supervisor: Professor E. Geiger. Co-supervisor: Dr. C. Kutsia. Matsiye Mohale. Thesis: The influence of teacher beliefs and attitudes about project-based learning on underperforming learners. Supervisor: Professor S. van der Jaar. Joyce West. Thesis: Student-teacher ethnocentrism attitudes and beliefs about language. Supervisor, Professor R. Evans. Master of Education, Curriculum and Instructional Design and Development. Mahlohonolo Mashile, Education Management, Law and Policy. Prishodini Chetty, Sanders Naika, Educational Leadership. Tumelo Mahanyane, Maritzi Mbiwa, Wilhelmine Strelo. Bachelor of Education Honors, Assessment and Quality Assurance in Education and Training, Hassani Vuma. Surina Yordon, Mielani Koza, Palisa Klaus, Felicia Libona, Mkateko Mabaso, Vinolia Mabuhwane, Sbongile Mahlangu, Spiwe Mahulane, Modulate Majiga, Sillo Mankalela, Sbongile Maposa, Whitney Mashapa, Tsepo Machila, Gwen Mboweni, Mpile Mdluli, Xolani Mkhondwane, Bongani Mlangeni, Nwako Modiba, Dimakatso Moliele, Cheryl Mo with distinction, Mapaseka Moloi, Lerato Monaledi, Lindiwe Musilane, Kiabetswi Mutaung, Matlatsi Mutsatsi, Elizabeth Mpahlele, Nomthandazo Msimango, Sindiswa Mthembu, Thandiwe Ngwenya, Happy Ngwira with distinction, Regina Ntlapo, Pumla Sambo, Katleho Stebe, Tobega Sikosana, Basane Smango, Princess Stimmer, Togozani Tobela, Kinewang Tsotsane. Bachelor of Education in Senior Phase, Renai Bason, Lihlohonolo Motlacha, Senior Phase and Further Education and Training Teaching, Nadhira Abdullah, Zarif Abdul Habib, Kieran Olcock with distinction, Almay Allison with distinction, Jamie Lee Allison, Anamika Anamale, Louisa Apane, Delise Applecron, Kaylin April, Minishka Arnachelan, Leandri Bardenhorst with distinction, Sharnai Barnard, Clementine Bambe, Sabia Bumji, Luke Bibbings, Ntomzodwa Biela, Kayla Boshoff, Sharnay Buata, Elizna Buata, Cheryl Boca with distinction, Tapelo Boya with distinction, Kevin Brinkman, Kayla Brits with distinction, Zandri Brits with distinction, Zanel Bruedrijk, Amy Brooks, Malika Brown, Yerika Buys, Kirsty Catterick with distinction, Kenneth Chichongwe, Lorraine Chili, Cade Chislett, Ashley Choma, Mahlako Chwene, Jenna Cilliers, Nashinka Colette, Alan Compon, Chardonnay Krause, Megan Denton, Margot Desai, David de Villiers, Jerika de Vries, Krizan de Wet, Tanri de Wit, Kokezo de Choro, Fisogutle Dlamini, Nondumiso Dlamini, Beauty Duncan, Gisela Duplessis, Monique Duplessis with distinction, Annemiek Dutoy, Caitlin Eels, Tasneem Ibrahim, Sunay Ellers, Lizanne Emmerich, Louis Erlang, Bevan Farrell, Sufyan Ghafour with distinction, Jones Gebuza, Mentor Jetelo, Shailene Gething with distinction, Kelly Glover with distinction, Kamogelo Hong Kang, Aaron Green, Reino Grijvenstein, Lindy Grunewald with distinction, Sinetemba Gumede, Adam Gunning, Nolutando Habile, Qiniso Habile, Liandi Haman, Jessica Heath, Caroline Heron, Mariska Heineke with distinction, Tamika Hibbard, Lindeni Hlachwayo, Lisedi Hlongwane, Nombuso Hlongwane, Stephen Hughes, Jessica Hugo, Laika Ismail, Alexander Janssen van Vieren, Anais Janssen van Vieren, Melissa Janssen van Vieren, Tasmia Jessat, Michael Jonker, Denise Jordan Alberts with distinction, Annabel Joubert, Mariska Joubert, Mariska Monet Joubert with distinction, Busisiwe Kabini, Miriam Carter, Katlego Kekana, Charissa Kaiser, Murendeni Kangala, Newo Kiba, Nigiwe Koza with distinction, Nogutula Koza, Sibusiso Koza, Hailey Kimmings, Reg Knutzer, Innocent Kotlolo, Ivan Krier, Marius Krier, Milanka Krier, Mbalentle Kubeka, Carl Kum with distinction, Aidan Lawrence with distinction, Tsegofatso Liballo, Sillo Libogo, Karabo Lenzwi, Ashley LaRue with distinction, Ntabising Lichwene with distinction, Ngobile Litswele, Mpulukeng Litabe, Byron Lotter, Eric Lawrence, Anna Lubisi, Michelle Lubisi, Nomzamo Lubisi, Asanda Mabandla, Sihle Mabasa, Tabang Mabota, Letty Machaba, Lehlohonolo Maditse, Karina Mahampa with distinction, Goodness Marongwa, Busi Mahlangu, Mukhalapi Mahlangu, Sabelo Mahlangu, Siyabonga Mahlangu, Thokozile Mahlangu, Zanele Mahlangu, Palisa Mahlobo, Bulelwa Majiza, Mahobe Mahwale, Bongegile Makhanya, Mamutlakela Makunyane, Ponzo Malika, Karabo Malemone, Selina Malupi, Nolwazi Mamba, Masiho Mangwane, Thomas Manzini, Praise Mapenzauswa, Lizon Mare, Linky Marobole, Tamsin Marshall, Unkabetsi Marumo, Togozani Masemula, Mpo Masemula, Pretty Mashaba, Butlari Mashaba, William Mashile, Junior Mashilwane with distinction, Mbali Maslela with distinction, Rajon Maslela, Xolani Maslela, Wandile Matebula, Yevalt Matei, Solomon Mateza, Malane Matobisa, Eliana Macheke with distinction, Basitsana Matlala, Sbongiseni Mavuso, Hezekiah Mazibe, Mbali Mazibugo with distinction, Nkosivile Mazima, Nontogozo Mbata, Dunisani Mbatsane, Albert Mbele, Zandile Mbele, Lisa McDermott with distinction, Andrew McKeer, Light Mdaga, Mkulego Mdlovu, Lalana Meni with distinction, Nomcebo Metiso, Sive Mfala, Sandile Mhlanga, Kinan Meshao, Spiwe Milazi, Andile Mkabela, Togozani Mkabela with distinction, Laki Mkalipi, Sandile Mkambela, Pelelani Mkwanazi, Muribadi Mako, Spamandla Mdawe, Ayanda Mgadi with distinction, Sfiso Mgadi, Tabang Mnisi, Togozani Mwahi, Laki Muhoto, Mashatsi Muhowe, Mpo Muhala, Kenneth Muhammad, Michelle Moshala, Mapula Mohoto, Mudiehi Mukwena, Emmanuel Mukomana, Tumi Mukwele, Kamugelo Molefe with distinction, Kanyisile Molefe, Felicia Molefi, Busisiwe Muloyi, Ntabiseng Munama, Veronique Moore, Jackson Mushweu, Kiabetswe Musuma, Agnes Musoto, Innocentia Mutau, Siabonga Mutau, Adelaide Mutibe, Ntabeling Mutlapema, Zina Mutun, Mkuliseni Mpungose, Spelo Msutu, Nokwenza Mthethwa, Sibusiso Mthembu, Siqubile Mthembu, Zazi Mthembu, Luvuyo Mthethwa, Noxolo Mthombeni, Pride Mthileni, Nomsa Mthweni, Latricia Mudau, Vanelo Mudau, Maleho Nakeli, Lindelwa Ncwane, Mbali Ndala, Oliver Ndlela, Khunzi Ndlovu, Leandri Nau with distinction, Palisa Ngakane, Brian Ngobeni, Tumelo Ngobeni, Nhlakanipho Ngomane, Lerato Ngola, Nhlanhla Ngulela, Athini Ngumbela, Xolisile Ngwenya, Sithabile Nhlabathi, Silondile Nkambule with distinction, Noah Nkoma, Rebecca Nkosi, Vusi Nkosi, Zenane Nkosiyane, Levet Nkwana, Muzikayise Nomathole, Robin Novel, Gugu Ntuli, Khanyisile Nyamathe, Emma O'Brien with distinction, Marika Widdendal with distinction, Shanae Willefeer, Johannes Willefeer, Mutlanalo Padima, Bradley Penrose, Lauren Peterson, Buitsepo Pafoli, Dimita Pillay, Hermanus Potgieter, Rudy Potgieter, Martin Pretorius, Sunay Pretorius, Hendrik Prinsloo, Taylor Puttiger with distinction, Muluko Ramango with distinction, Marishine Ramoneta, Lufuno Ramulongo, Makopano Rantona, Matika Raz, Newo Rasiale, Sisona Sipo Rasmeni, Laurica Raz, Matthew Reddy, Goldine Richter with distinction, Bianca Robinson, Larissa Rousseau, Veli Sambo, Kiara Sassa with distinction, Vickers Skippers, Bianca Skuman, Christian Schutter, Ntabiseng Sibonela, Kelebaone Silibalo, Murateji Silema, Princess Sinoamadi, Lydia Sinzo with distinction, Diokeng Sishweni, Louis Situnya, Bongumusa Shabangu, Nkosinathi Shabangu, Teresa Shabangu, Ramotsupane Shaku, Mzwandile Shongwe, Nomcebo Shongwe with distinction, Petile Sbiya, Nkateko Sibuyi with distinction, Indi Skosana with distinction, Nzuzenhle Simelane, Buipilo Stole, Nomvula Stole, Selina Stole, Olane Stole, Zandile Stole, Lerato Skosana with distinction, Sarah May Smedsred, Samantha Smith, Liam Smallford with distinction, Cornel Spies, Johannes Steenekamp, Dwayne Stein, Sharmonai Steeler, Jan Stolp, Candace Stratford, Mandy Sutherland, Chantal Swart, Julia Swart, Shazia Tavilder, Ramadimeja Tifu, Njabulo Tabede, Marley Tron, Tsepiso Tibedi, Eva Tullo, Spilile Tungo, Karabo Tiko, Gaugelo Tladi, Daniel Trollip, Tato Tsushane, Nogulunga Twala, Taylor Ois, Alex John van der Merwe, Janelle van der Westhuizen with distinction, Maricia van Deventer, Mariska van Heerden, Claudie van Niekerk with distinction, Vian van Niekerk, Cara van Nieuwenhuizen, Zander van Pijper, Marlies van Skalkwijk with distinction, Brandon van Wyk, Nadia van Wyk, Mika Venter, Simon Venter, Janke Vermeulen with distinction, Shanae Verwey, Paula von Geiso, Rebecca White, Alicia Williams with distinction, Lydia Williams, Ashley Wilson, Jessica Woodstock, Erica Wimmer, Marika Zwiers with distinction. Achievement Awards.
I'll now introduce to you the recipient of the Vice Chancellor and Principals Award. The following candidate distinguished herself during 2020 as the overall top achiever in her faculty. Congratulations.
Award of the Vice Chancellor and Principal, Leandri Barnhorst. BEd Senior and Further Education and Training Phase Teaching Award, Leandri Barnhorst. Teaching Practice Award, Rudy Potgieter.
Let us give our graduates a big hand for their hard work and perseverance. I would like to thank the families, friends, and spouses for supporting our graduates during their studies. We have now come to the end of the proceedings. Please join us in singing the national anthem. By the powers vested in me, I hereby dissolve this assembly of the University of Pretoria.
Gaudiamus igitur juvenestum sumus. Gaudiamus igitur juvenestum sumus. Post jucundam juventutem, post molestam senectum.